it's a little bit before dark, beautiful. And we went up to the president's quarters. They call them the presidential quarters. And I'm standing in this beautiful hallway. It's funny, nobody ever talks about the White House as being beautiful inside. You think it's going to be, everything's going to be all metal doors and stuff. It's not. It's so beautiful. I made my money largely on luxury. The hallway is like 25 feet wide. The ceiling heights are, it's so beautiful. But I was standing there and I said to the guys, I want to see the Lincoln bedroom. I had never seen the Lincoln bedroom. I heard about the Lincoln bedroom. And I was standing with my wife. I said, do you believe it? This is the Lincoln bedroom. I mean, it was like, it was amazing. Because it's, look, if you love the country, but here you are, the Lincoln bedroom. And the bedroom was very tall. He was 6'6", which then would be like Barron.
Right,
Would be like Barron Trump. He's 6'9".
6'4", but yeah.
6'6". He was very tall. Then on top of it, he wore.
There it is.
He wore that. Yeah, there it is. It's a long bed, elongated bed, and because people were shorter than you see some of the chairs are very, very low to the ground actually, but he had the long bed, and they had. You had the Gettysburg Address right on that, right under that. You can't see it here, but right there, the original version of the Gettysburg Address. And this is the original, and I'm looking, and I just looked around. I said, do you believe this? Because I was never a politician. First of all, even if you were a politician, but I was never a politician. I sort of just started, right? And all of a sudden, I'm standing in the White House. And it was very, very surreal. That room was so beautiful to me, much more beautiful than it actually is. To me, when I looked at the bed, and the bed you could see was a little bit longer, had to be a little bit longer. He lost his son, and they suffered, the people suffered from melancholia. They didn't call it depression. They called it melancholia, and they suffered from it. He was a very depressed guy, and she was a very depressed woman, more so than him. And on top of that, they lost their son, whose name was Ted.
What happened here?
And it was just seeing it in the little picture, the little tiny picture. I mean, you can't see the details there. Little tiny, everything the way it was. A little tiny picture of Ted, who he lost, and it was devastating. And he was, he was in war. He was having a hard time because he couldn't beat Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee won like 13 battles in a row. And he was getting like a phobia, like a fight. Not about the fight stuff, but like, I went to a UFC fight, and it was a champion who was 14-1 about a year ago. You would know the names. 14-1, and the only guy he lost to was this one guy, but the guy that he was fighting was like almost just an average fighter. Lost numerous times, but he beat this one guy. So I said, okay,
I really don't know who you're talking about.
I will figure it out.
Okay.
But about a year ago, but the point is that he wasn't nearly the fighter, but the one who was not nearly the fighter had beaten. He's the only guy that beat the champ like 5 years before. And I said, I'll take the guy that won the other fight. And that's what happened. He beat him a second time.
Sometimes
Lincoln,
psychological advantages.
It's just a crazy thing. Lincoln had I don't know, I've never read this. I heard it from people in the White House who really understand what was going on with the whole life of the White House. But Lincoln had the yips about it, in a way, as the golfers would say. He had a phobia about Robert E. Lee. He said, I can't beat Robert, because Robert E. Lee won many battles in a row. He was just beating the hell out of him. They tried to get Robert E. Lee to be on the North, but he said, no, I have to be with my state. The state was his whole thing, and he went to the South. And he was, I've had generals tell me, we have some great generals, the real generals, not the ones you see on television, the ones that beat ISIS with me. We defeated ISIS in record time. It was supposed to take years, and we did it in a matter of weeks. These are great generals. These are tough guys. These are not woke guys. But their favorite general, in terms of genius, was Robert E. Lee.
In terms of strategy, you mean?
Strategically. He took a war that should have been over in a few days, and it was, years of hell, of vicious war. And so here I am standing there, and again, I had never really done this before, you know, I ran a number of months before I won. I probably,
The US
I guess
doesn't
if you
get itself
figured
involved
max
in
it
that.
out, it would be
Alright, long.
a year, something like that, so I had never run for office. And I did well, I mean, I went into
Because they
debates with
stick around
18
for the
people,
cleanup,
including
trying
me,
to
and
fix
then
everything after.
slowly but surely they started to disappear. We had debates, good debates.
Everyone's aware of all this stuff. What I wanna get to is like, what was the
Everyone's aware
experience
of all
once
this
you
stuff.
got inside?
It was
Like,
just
what did you think it was gonna be like in terms of like
He's
your
like, let's
ability
get
to
down to the
govern?
nitty
Like,
gritty.
this
What
is
kind
your
of
first
secrets
experience
did they tell
governing
you?
anything. You never been a governor, you never been a mayor.